All right, yeah, we are live. Welcome, guys, to NFT Live Friday edition. Please bear with us as we're getting our bearings here. How's everyone doing?
I'm doing okay. This is the first time that I've configured all of this vMix settings, so I can hear everyone, and everyone can hear all the callers, but I hear myself in my headphones, so it's super annoying, a little bit difficult, but that's okay. Welcome to NFT Live with your guy DJ Savage. Why don't we go around the table to the left, and we'll start off with Flubber.
All right.
Can everyone introduce herself?
That's me. What's up, everybody? Flubber here, one of the nobles from LADZ City. Really happy to be able to join and talk about some NFTs with you all again. In my day-to-day, I do risk management, so it's a little different diving into the NFT world because there are a lot of risks, but there are a lot of opportunities, and I think we'll get into some of that today.
Awesome. Tigbo here, regular Friday co-host with my guy Q. Obviously, he's traveling today, so Savage is filling in. Definitely some big shoes to fill, but glad to be here. Appreciate you guys tuning in and joining us every Friday. Funny for Flubber to work in risk management because this is definitely not the place for that, but definitely good to hear. But yeah, excited to be here. Appreciate everyone tuning in.
Right on. I'm invited from the LADZ network. I'm also a noble in the chats. Biggie Poppins here. Been around the space for a little while. Excited to talk Moonbirds and proof today.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. We can jump right into Moonbirds. Oh my god. We can jump right into Moonbirds if you would like. Would you like to kick us off, Biggie, and start talking about some Moonbirds? Are you in their raffle? Did you put 2.5 ETH up to try to get a Moonbird?
Yes, sir. I'm also a Proof Collective past member, and I'm very excited about it. I'm obviously the degen side of me is a little bit annoyed that they decided to go with the raffle, but if you see what Cairo and Ryan are trying to do, it makes complete sense, right? It's all about the community. Strong communities lead to great NFT projects, and so, it is what it is.
Sorry, for us that
Biggie,
are out of the loop. Yeah, for us that are out of the loop, what's this deal with the raffle for 2.5 ETH? Is it just a down payment, or how does that work?
No, basically, when Proof Collective announced Moonbirds, the whole idea was to do a Dutch auction, starting at 2.5, going all the way down to zero point 0.1 ETH. Many people in the collective thought, including myself, that it would mint out at 2.5. It was never going to make it below 2. And as things started moving along, you could just see the hype project. I just recently was at an NFT LA, and you'd meet some pretty heavy hitters that were just ready to throw a ton of ETH. And in the end, the people that make the money are the bots, the flippers, and it's just a lot of ETH wasted on gas in the end, which is unnecessary. And I think Cairo said it himself, there's no perfect way to do these things, I myself was very much looking forward to gathering a nice flock of birds, right? But in the end, I do think for the greater good, it behooves us all to get as many people in the community as possible. And so we decided to go with a raffle instead. So now, to avoid the bots, the more steps people take to join the pre-mint, supposedly the easier it is to avoid that. One of them being to have 2.5 ETH in your wallet in order to be able to register through the pre-mint link. But yeah, I'm in it. Hopefully I get to add one more bird.
So Biggie, you as a holder, I believe you guys get to claim 2 Moonbirds yourself, correct?
That is correct. Proof Collective keeps 20% of the Moonbirds, which is, I think, good. Happy about that. But yes, the rest, it goes for a raffle, free for all, for everybody.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty cool because it's funny because I remember maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when they were just really picking up the talks about Moonbird. You know, K Rose even said that, you know, oh, it's not gonna sell out 2.5. You know, I think they were pretty being modest about it, and they thought, you know, this is not gonna sell out 2.5. No one's really talking about it. And since then, obviously, they made their, you know, campaign trail, doing all the stuff, all the spaces, all the podcasts, all that stuff. So you definitely seen the hype build up. One thing I do think is cool. I understand the price point because looking at the proof floor is at 70 ETH right now or something. I don't know what it is currently. But I understand the price point of 2.5 now that they've made it a raffle instead of a Dutch auction because they thought it was going to sell out anyway for 2.5. Now, the cool thing I think about the price point is that they've said 100% of that profit goes back into the community, and that's how they will build out their next phase of the roadmap, which I believe is the Metaverse they're trying to build, correct? Biggie, you could correct me?
Yes, that's correct. There's some pretty exciting things, and I mean, the roadmap so far that we've been presented with is, you know, I think like 4 months down the line. So this is just a portion, a sneak peek of it. The Metaverse play is being one of them, but more stuff coming down the line, like mobile apps and other stuff. So, I mean, you know that in order to be able to fund these things, engineers are pricey. And so
Yeah,
all of that
yeah,
is going to go
yeah,
into the treasury. Nobody's taking any salaries from the team, you know, other than their set already established salary. So all of that is going to be for the good of the community, you know, to be able to build something that lasts. And I also think that that price point deters a lot of flippers, you know, hopefully as much as possible, because you want to get people that are committed in the space, you know, that really want to diamond hand their birds, diamond claw, I
yeah. I
should
feel
say.
like, yeah, that's right. It's the diamond claws, right? Or the talons. I think birds have the talons, though. I don't know. Well, that's up for another debate. Yeah, I think what I think about their approach is they see this as a company. You know, this is more than just a PFP. This is more than just a regular drop. You know, they're gonna take this money and this funds, and they're trying to make a company that's gonna, you know, have a good runway for a few years. And I think that's what I think gets a lot of people interested in this because they're really trying to see who build a community of true holders and true believers. Because I know they have some staking incentives. So if you hold, I believe, the Moonbird longer, you get certain benefits. Correct?
That is correct. They're still not, you know, they haven't revealed much about what it is. Could be a coin down the line. I know they're being very cautious about it because of regulations and what you can and can't do, which I think is very smart of them. But yes, if you nest your bird early on, the longer you nest it, the more benefits you'll have. I think, fortunately and unfortunately, this thing is being launched right in the back of the whole ape coin drop. And, you know, having witnessed already Cairo's ability to execute, this whole team's ability to execute, you know, the proof is in the pudding, right? Like it's living proof. You can see it right there. There's a lot of people that missed out on the original proof pass, people that just bought one, which they would have gotten more. So I think there's a lot of uh, I justified bullishness in the project, you know. And I think one of the ways to reward holders is by asking them to nest them. So basically, when you nest your bird, it sets a timer on, right? And so the longer you nest them, the better rewards you'll get, whether it's your nest, because I believe your nest is going to be a sort of gallery, right? Uh, you know, show your artwork and your collections, which Kair is very happy and excited about it. It's supposed to be something that's never been done or we haven't seen yet. So I think it's going to be different from, you know, like the pods and CloneX or stuff like that. And I imagine the more you nest it, the more ability to grow your nest or make it bigger or, you know, God knows,
Uh,
pimp it out, as I say.
is this an actual nest or is this like staking? I guess I don't understand the nest here.
So it's yeah, like the act of nesting is staking your bird, but I believe also the nest itself will be like your own personal metaverse space to host people and reveal your artwork and you know stuff like that. And again, like he's being very hush hush about it because there are some things that he has yet to see in the metaverse. And I mean, this is a guy that's around, so if he's bullish on it and playing it close to the heart, I imagine it's going to be something exciting. I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
Is this a second drop of a project?
No, technically this is the third. The first one being Grails, the ones that unveiled the protoglyph from Larva Labs, which was really, I think, got like a big spotlight on the project itself. Um, it's. I mean, I can't tell you how bullish I am on the community itself. You know, the floor is irrelevant to me whatsoever. It's not something that I plan on selling. There's not a number you can put on it. The community, after being in this space for so long, you start learning to value community and network over numbers, right?
It's funny because I recall when that drop happened, when the Dutch auction happened. It was the same day that Neo Tokyo had their drop as well that morning. I remember it was a Saturday. And I remember having a conversation with my friend saying, Neo Tokyo was like, I forgot how much. It was like a high mint price as well. And they were justifying it of spending, this amount of money on a Neo Tokyo project, who it is, Alex Becker, Neo Elliott Trades, and all these guys. And then we have, Kevin Rose coming out with his Dutch auction that started at 5 ETH, if I'm correct, right? If I recall that, or 3 ETH, I can't remember what it was. And it ended at 1. And I remember saying, well, what justifies you spending that much on a Kevin Rose project than Neo Tokyo? And you're right, because my point was like, I can see why people want to justify Neo Tokyo because you know who it is, who's behind it. And then we got Kevin Rose, who's just starting off, doesn't really have he's known in the space as OG, he's a good collector, but he's never built anything. He's never created a community. And I feel like now we're kind of set into this thing where everyone's flocking back into the blue chips, right? Because now a year and a half into this now, we see the teams who've been successful. We've seen the teams who've built. We've seen the teams that have actually provided value for their members, So my question to you, Biggie, is like, I know now the floor doesn't matter. The value is within the community. So, did you ever think it would become this big of a thing that it is now? Did you ever expect the floor to become, this high? Because I honestly think this could reach an 100 ETH floor easily in the next month or two. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, bro, we're only 8 ETH away. It's at 92 right now. We had a 92 buy last night.
There you go. You see, that was 78. Like it was 78 like 2 days ago. Like you see, like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's uncharted waters we're in. And like I said, like I don't like looking at it much in that sense, but I mean, yeah, for anybody that's in there that just got one pass, should have bought more, right? But he was so humble about it when he spoke, and I mean, in hindsight, I mean, Kevin has built humongous communities, right? From Dig Nation and Dig. It's just that a lot of the people that are in the space right now don't know him for that, right? They just see him as a VC, somebody that doesn't need any more, and he has this podcast. And honestly, even myself, like I thought, okay, this is going to be like access to him and like this podcast and a Discord. I never in a million years thought that he had these ginormous, ideas for it. I don't think even he had an idea of how popular it was going to become and how quickly it was going to rise. But a lot of the people that are in the group have been following for a very long time, and then organically it just started growing and growing into something else. Our chief operating officer, Ryan, also, I mean, he's all 3 founders, him and Justin, I mean, they've built and sold companies multiple times. They're really big in the space. So it was, I guess, in hindsight, like a no-brainer. But at the moment, like you said, I think people were more focused on Neo Tokyo, Alex Becker, people that are a little more public and out there, and about the roadmap and everything. I think Cairo played it very humbly for what it's become.
Definitely interesting.
It said that they're gonna net like 60 million or something like that. That's a lot of money. Do you know what they have on their roadmap or what they're gonna do with all that liquidity?
I literally just finished listening Twitter Spaces before I got on with you guys, and all I can say from the leaders themselves is that, I mean, we're trying to go after, and not after as in compete with or like beat them, but just, to be one of the blue chips, to be one of the top 5. And I think we have all the team and the community to do so. And in order to do that and to really innovate in the space and not follow anybody's lead. You need to hire great people. We're talking like 50 to 100 people eventually. And if you think about the engineering talent that you need, and holding like Proof Conference, which is gonna be, it's gonna be like, right up there with VCon, if not better, as an NFT conference.
Yeah.
That all that costs money, and so I think that although we see it as this huge number, that we would all love to have for our own, it's gonna go fast. And like I said, the roadmap that we're privy to is only 4 months, 5 months down the line. Like sometime around like September, October, I have a feeling he's going to do it again. He's going to come out with some other project. I mean, I know Grails 2 is going to be coming up. And as we progress, I have a feeling Grails could become its own kind of like event, and recurring, a little more frequent maybe. So I think this is just the beginning. And for the amount of money they're raising, I mean, I think they could have raised a lot more. And again, being seasoned startup founders, I think that when you're in the space, you notice two types of teams, whether it's in NFTs or in the DeFi space. They're the guys that immediately just want to cash out or raise as much as possible. And they're the guys that, pull their reins and just raise enough to get to the next, to the next raise, right? To the next point, to the next valuation. And I think that's a smart way to go. Because a lot of these other guys that raise massive war chests, they end up underperforming. I mean, don't want to talk shit, but Cardano. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. No, for sure. I would definitely love the feedback and the thoughts, man. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Definitely appreciate you coming by. As my guy, Dicenzas, I love the name. We got Scott in the chat also. So we got a question for you, Biggie, because I guess you're the one that's in there. So you're the one that can really answer this question. People want to know what goes on in the Discord. What's like a day-to-day thing there? Like, because I feel like a lot of people see the floor price and they kind of want to justify what causes this membership pass to have this price. Do you feel like there's you get a lot of value from the alpha that's there, or there's more like a community, what's the kind of vibe that you guys have in there?
All of it, man. All of it. I know most of us here are like in a bunch of between Telegram and Discord and Signal and WhatsApp. It can take up several hours just to go through all the things that we're in, right? And I think like freaking just the Proof Discord it's insane to keep up with. There's constant conversation, and it's like the minute us Westerners go to sleep around 9-10 a.m. the Easterners get up and just start talking, and like you have to catch up the next day with everything that's being discussed. There's definitely plenty of alpha and really well-known collectors and people there that are leaders in the space. So also it's a very friendly community. I think Cairo was very smart at capping it at 1,000 people, and some people do hold multiple passes, so it's a lot less. I'm thinking we're somewhere around like the high 800s, 900 mark. So it makes it really easy to have a conversation, to form bonds. I mean, I know I've gone to a couple of conferences just this year, and I've made amazing friendships. I know most people are interested in the alpha and the whitelists, and yes, there is that, which is very convenient and very, very awesome. It's handled usually very transparently, with raffles and stuff like that. But that's what I value the most, right? I mean, the proof pass for anybody that's been in there from the beginning, just with the whitelist access, you've made your money back from whatever you invested initially, right? And for somebody that's paying 92 ETH right now, what's up, buddy? Well, there's a reason they're paying that amount of money, right? And it's because of that, the access that you get, the insight that you're able to derive from communities like that, I think is massive. I mean, we're only like what is it, 4 months in? It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it seems like they hit a recipe for success there, both with a good solid core community, but also all the incentives on top of that. Nice pickup.
Yeah, I missed
yeah.
that one.
I was lucky, man. And honestly, like I'm surprised that it ever went down to 1 ETH. I think most people again thought it was just kind of like a, an access to Discord to have a conversation, to get a little closer to Kevin and, obviously find some alpha, but nobody thought that they were going to build this massive company that I do believe is going to reach that top 5 blue chip level, I mean, it takes that quality of talent and people to get in there, and it's the people that are rallying behind. I mean, I think Kara was very, very humble and assuming that it wouldn't mint out at 2.5. I mean, considering just the fact that like 900 and some people that are already in the Discord told at least 2 or 3 of their buddies, right? Like their closest friends, like that might have missed the pass. It's like, you need to get in here, pay whatever you have to, right? I mean, right there, you're already at like, there was 8,000, so you're down at least like 4,000 birds. And then add the massive followings that these guys have and all the degens that have seen the run up of the collective pass. And yeah, you got a recipe for a fire freaking launch. And honestly, it does take a lot of the stress out too, right? Like, because I hate gas wars, man. And, like having to, like,
Yeah.
I know there's a bunch of people that are going to be like set up with like 4 different laptops and 2 browsers each and just freaking FOMOing into this fucking thing. So, so be it, like it's like, I want as many people to, I want my buddies to be able to get in there too, but it'll be what it'll be, I'll definitely be looking at the secondary, I'll tell you that much, and I'm sure a lot of people will also.
Do you know
I
why?
think part of it. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tig.
Well, I was gonna say, like, the reason why I became the Dutch auction as well, because speaking of gas wars, the whole Vayner sports pass that just happened, was supposed to be a stealth mint, and the contract was so bad that people were paying me. I'll tell you from experience. I minted 4, and I paid over, I forgot how much, 1.2 ETH in gas just to mint.
Whoa.
So that's what happened, and that's what caused a lot of the FUD, and that's why a lot of people were looking to Kevin wrote. I apologize, my son. Looking into this drop and just because people were expecting the same thing. Another gas war is going to happen, and it just takes a lot of the fun out of it. When you're paying twice as much in gas as a mint.
Yeah, I see
For
that.
sure, man.
I see that they refunded 192 ETH. That's a lot of money.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean they kind of had to. It was a bad look for them in general. I know Gary, was involved as well, but AJ kind of took the fall for it, saying Gary had nothing to do with the contract and all this stuff, kind of, I guess, taking the sword for his brother. But yeah, I mean, that kind of caused Kevin Rose and their team to kind of look for a better way to do this because, they don't want to have the same experience. A lot of people got out of gas failures. We're talking like 2 ETH, 3 ETH failures, and they didn't get a mint pass out of it, So yeah, I'm glad they're doing a Dutch auction because, you don't want to be part of the gas war, like you said. And definitely having the access to 2 of them yourself is definitely a great benefit to have.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, when the Vayner Sports Pass or whatever was minting, I saw gas jump up to like 4,000 gwei. That's like intense. I haven't seen gas like that in several months. Like, you'll see it jump up to like 1,000, 1,500 for a special mint or whatever. I haven't seen it cross 3,000 or 4,000 in a long time. And it sat that way, I feel like 30 minutes or almost an hour or something.
Yeah, I was puzzled myself. I was looking at another mint. I was like, oh, I was whitelisted. I was like, okay, it's going to be easy. Go grab lunch and come back. And I was like, what the fuck's going on, man?
But that's it. It takes
Did
down
any
the
of you
whole
pick up
network,
any
really.
like additional passes in the secondary?
Yep, I did
No,
look.
so I only have my 4 still. I have my 4 still. I'm confident in the team, so I'm not worried about it. I'm confident in the team, so I'm not worried about it. But, obviously it costs a lot of FUD right off the bat because a lot of people just complain about the gas and stuff like that. And some people were sending screenshots of, I hope this goes through, and gas was like 80 quick. It's like, dude, you're never going to get through that. A lot of people are very inexperienced as well, so it kind of costs these fails. You get to kind of come in here, you kind of mint something that's good. It was supposed to be a stealth drop, which became not a stealth drop, and it became a humongous type of drop. But you got to commit to this realistically, thinking you're gonna mint something. You gotta expect to go a little harder on the gas than just the regular gas. But it costs a lot of fun. You know, I'm in the Discord. AJ was in there. Gary's in there, just kind of speaking to everyone, letting everyone know, you know, their future plans. I know they have a few announcements coming up this weekend with some of the collabs with you know, sports figures in the industry. So I'm confident in the team. I'm not worried about it. I'm holding, so I'm not really too worried about it. But it does suck to have to pay like 1.6 in gas, because now, like, you know, that, I'm not gonna lie, that money I allocated for Moonbirds, because, you know, before it was gonna be a raffle, you know, I'm gonna be in the Dutch auction. I know I was gonna fire right away because, you know, it's not allowed. So now I kind of have to pivot and figure it out. But yeah, it's weird to see this happen, especially with a team like Gary Vee and them that kind of caused this. And I feel like it's a better look for Kevin Rose and their team, because now they're pivoting off having to deal with that FUD and those issues, you know.
For sure, man. And you know, God knows how it's gonna go down in the end, because these botters are like super, super savvy. I'm sure some of them will get through and they'll flip, you know. But in the end, that's what you want. Like you want to get rid of them as soon as possible so you can start building a community of true believers. Because I really do believe in Kevin Kelly's famous article, 10,000 True Fans. You get a solid community, you've got a winning product, you know.
Absolutely.
And I think you can see that in all the blue chips.
I think they're the first NFT group to specifically target, like, specifically athletes. It says right on their Twitter, we're the, what does it say? Agency for the modern days athlete. I know a lot of people kind of go after celebrities and athletes, but this one says it right in their Twitter. Like, that's their mission. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, they talk about collabs, access to certain events, access to you know, one-on-one combos with athletes and all these different things. There's a lot of speculation because some of the cards have double icons, some have no icons on them, some have 4 different sports on them. So there's still a lot of, you know, speculation of what each one means. So that's why I feel like the floor has kind of kept up and people are still holding. But let me tell you, man, the Gary Vee community and the friend community are, you know, they kind of popped into this Discord as well. I don't know. These guys are loyalists, man. They will die for Gary Vee. Like, they would legit die for Gary Vee. So it's good to see. I think it's good to have that community with this Vayner Sports Pass. So that's why I feel like I'm not too worried about it for now. I just think it's going to go up from here. So that's why I'm kind of excited about it. But I'm a little upset about not having my Moonbird money. So now I gotta pivot.
Did any of you guys, like, listen to Gary Vee before NFTs? Like, I have no idea where he came from. He's just, like, blown up, and now his brother's blown up, but I never watched him, never heard of him before NFTs. I think it's kind of crazy how big he's got.
I did. I used to follow him a lot. I originally come from a marketing background, so I knew who he was. Again, stupidly, I doubted him when he came out with VFriends, because, again, I said, it's like, okay, stay in your lane, stay in your space, right? And boy, was I wrong, right? I agree with you. It's a solid bet, even if you did pay an ETH over. You know, you're betting on people in this space. I think, like, that's one of the first check marks you should look at when you're looking for projects, especially going down, right? Like going forward now. I think a lot of these, like,
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, you don't see so many, like, of the, you know, those mysterious, you know how there was that group of people that were doing like mints, and then they would just do another trash mint and another trash mint, and it was always this anonymous, like, trio or quadruple group, and now it's becoming more and more people that are also willing to put themselves out there, you know, put their actual face to the project. And I think that also instills trust in the community and towards the project, because, you know, when you're throwing especially this much ETH at you know, some NFTs, the people behind it, the community and everyone a part of that, and then the roadmap, and, you know, also the aesthetics of it, I still think are important. You know, I still won't mint on a project if I see, you know, and I just don't like the actual picture. But I think all those things combined are you know, really important in making these successful projects. And then also kind of what you've been speaking into, you know, the kind of the alpha that you get with it. I know I got some Maverick Saga people here and some Wanderers fans, and I think what they've been really good at is both the community aspect, driving it forward, giving some value to the holders, and also that alpha aspect is super nice. When you have well-known people that have good followings in the NFT space, to get what they're looking at, it's nice. It's kind of like what Zeneca has done with Zen Academy. People go in and they're part of that Discord just because this guy he knows a lot, and he super wholesome community, by the way. But also that alpha is really nice when someone has done just a little bit of research for you beforehand, so you don't have to completely disregard it or dive in and spend hours figuring out, okay, does this guy just have a bunch of fake followers or whatever it is. So I think you're that, yeah.
And to me, it has two functions, right? This alpha we're calling, right? Because most people, when you talk about alpha, they just think numbers, right? But it's like, yes, you have that filter of due diligence that's been done for you, right? But you also get to learn, which is the most important thing, because you see how they break down a project, you see what they're looking for. You start reading enough of those alphas, even if you don't participate or didn't win in the whitelist, you'll start learning how to look at these projects in a different light, right? And there's a lot of crossovers. Like, we have Zeneca and Proof. I'm also in Zeneca's Discord. And, when you find that, you start seeing that synergy. I don't know. To me, there's no better space to be in than the crypto space, specifically the NFT and DAO space, which I think are kind of like symbiotic. It's really very much a wag me mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Without getting too woo-woo on you guys.
Yeah, I think it's a good point you bring up with both your points, because it's the access you guys have as well to the people in the community, which could bring up opportunities that you never even thought about. Because there's people from those communities, from Proof, from Zeneca, there's gonna be other projects that spring out of it. And that could be opportunities for other people to get involved in building something, creating something. So I think that's definitely worth it as well, a part of the value that goes with having these access to these communities.
Yeah,
I think people don't understand.
LADZ City. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think LADZ City has been really good at kind of enabling those cross symbiotic relationships. It wasn't until I joined. I fell across LADZ City through the Tip CC server, because someone threw one of those airdrops in for a little bit of LADZ, and I was like, what's the LADZ token? And I was trying to figure that out. And then I came across the server, but it wasn't until I joined the LADZ community that I, bumped into, all the Bitlectro crew, or Nifty, the Nifty Castle, and then you start to recognize also the people and what they're talking about, and then it starts to become this kind of universe of interesting projects, and just there's so much love for what's going on here. It's so exciting to be a part of this space.
It's like a mycelium network, right? Somebody told me the other day, which I loved how to phrase. It's a group of secret communities, and one takes you into the other, into another wormhole, and somebody will mention something that you didn't hear about. You go check it out, you fall in love with it, where it's based on a game that you like, or an aesthetic, or or a DAO you want to be a part of. It's really exciting times. And I mean, we are so early. People don't understand. I'm sure you guys get your friends tell you all the time, it's like, well, but I'm late, because they feel like they need to buy, they don't even know that they feel like they need to buy a whole Bitcoin. They don't know that you can buy a fractional one. I was just in the NFT LA, and I met a video game art director, senior level, bro, one of the guys that is in charge of the artwork, of onboarding the projects, all this stuff. He owns 2 cryptocurrencies, 0 NFTs. He's barely getting into the space.
Crazy.
You want more early than that? I mean, we're early.
No, I mean, this time last year, we weren't really into many NFTs. Oh my God. We were talking beforehand, and Biggie said that he watched the Bored Apes drop, and that he thought there was going to be no first mover advantage or anything. You catch the next one, and that's kind of what I thought too. Totally missed out on that one. Missed out on CyberKongs. Missed out on Bored Apes. They were all hosted, right inside LADZ City too. They did shows just like this, and they said, go get yourself a Bored Ape and go get yourself some CyberKongs. And I was like, there's more events that are coming out or more groups that are coming out. I'll catch the next one when I've got just a little bit more ETH. And then, waiting for that 0.1 ETH instead of selling an NFT. Genesis Kongs are what, 50 ETH right now? Used to be at 100. So that I'd love that one day.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have that story of the one that got away, or the multiple ones that got away. I think we look back and see that, and now, being a year or more in this space, you kind of see. I think you're able to filter the trash out from the real value projects. And people in the chat, are talking about Gary. Do you think he'll be here a long time? And I feel like Gary's definitely one of those people that are definitely. He is set to leave his footprint on this space and be remembered for whatever it will be, that whatever he'll become. So I feel like putting your money and betting your money on Gary Vee, the Kevin Roses of the world, is definitely probably the smart play, especially if you're just getting into the space. You're just kind of starting off with NFTs. And I feel like these communities could definitely mold you and shape you and kind of give you the lay of the ground. Because I remember a year ago, whatever I had, when I walked into LADZ City, walking to Token Smart and Whale with Discord, there's a lot of crossover in those Discords, but I feel they're great for newcomers because it kind of, you get to meet new people, get discussions involved, and having people who have been longer in that space show you different things like part of it. I remember like Chona in LADZ City was one of the guys I spoke to early on. He was definitely one of the guys who's been around for a while, and definitely, his input, his advice is definitely valuable. So I think when we're talking about these communities that we've grown accustomed to and grown into, I feel like, LADZ City and these social token communities are definitely part of it, and they have their value as well, apart from, project communities as well.
What's nice about there being several communities that are similar, like Whale or Token Smart or LADZ or whatever, is, we can't have events every day, and we can't have events every hour of every day. So, if you're a true degen and you want to go, from Discord to Discord or from event to event and stay busy, you can kind of just make your rounds between those three communities, and you can catch a lot of different groups and a lot of different alpha and a lot of different events. I think NFT is the best. NFT Live is the best, or, LADZ City is the best, but that's probably just because that's where I started. When I was looking online, I was just in crypto, and it was really lonely. You can't find any of your in real life friends to get into crypto with you. You can't get your family in there with you. So, you have to go find some people that think like you. I stuck my life savings in ETH at $500, and that was scary. Everyone else is just like, oh, you're crazy. I was like, I needed to find a community where some people thought like me. Otherwise, what am I doing? You dump everything, all your money in there, and if you don't have any guarantees, I guess nothing's a guarantee. But it's nice to hear some other people think like you think. I love NFTs. Like, that was the part of crypto that I was missing, was the community.
I concur wholeheartedly.
Shout out to Easy in the chat, man. The Easy is definitely one of those OGs in space that has been part of LADZ City, and definitely one of those guys who has been around for a while. So having those type of people in the communities, and I'm sure, and that's gonna be my question to you, Biggie, is improve. I know, like, there's a lot of people who had just started off in space when the Discord first started and the patent had just dropped. I know a lot of those people came from Web 2 because they followed Kevin Rose from his big days and all the different things. Do you feel like those people have kind of matured in the space and kind of gotten a better feel for it along the way from the last 4 or 5 months that they've been there?
I think so. I mean, there's been some churn, of course, right? And you can't blame people for taking profits or selling, right? Especially when you have something that rises the way the Proof Collective Pass did, right? Like, maybe they needed, there's a couple of people that needed a roof over their head, like replace the roof or pay tuitions or all kinds of stuff. So you don't blame them for that. But I do find the level of proofers is pretty high already. Even if they came from Web 2, they are pretty accomplished people that are like they're either builders or successful entrepreneurs, in their own right. There are a couple of people that, locked out, got in there early, and are diamond handing their stuff. And yes, I mean, I think the learning curve is steep already when it comes to NFTs and DeFi. And having access to these people definitely helps because they're very generous with their time, very transparent. So yes, I do think that when you join a community, whether it's Proof or another, because there are others, right? Like it's not the only one. You join a solid community, you're gonna exponentially gain access not just to alpha, but like to knowledge from people that are very experienced. Yeah, I agree with you that NFTs, for whatever reason, obviously a lot of people call it a bubble. I still think they haven't been able to wrap their head around it just being people collecting art or people having, like lonely people that are looking for friendship or community. They don't really grasp how powerful and new having access to this IP is, right? Because before, there's a lot of people out there that are very knowledgeable about culture, right? Whether it's in gaming or movies or music. And before, you were not rewarded for that, right? You were just the geek that really was into EDM and followed the latest DJ. That's all, Now you have access to these people, and you have an ability to be an OG in one of these communities and really flourish along with the community and the artists. I think, I was recently speaking, even like DeFi projects now are starting to turn around and look to see a way to maybe make their own NFT and give it functionality, right? Because they're starting to pick up on how powerful it is to have direct contact to your truest fans, right? Like think about like something like Bored Apes, right? Like sure, it's filled now more than ever with more and more celebrities, but I mean, how much do these celebrities get paid to be spokespersons for a brand or to just show up in an event, right? And here, if you own a Bored Ape, you're pretty much adjacent to Tom Brady and Jay-Z, right? And it doesn't mean that they have to speak on your brand or anything, but it's a wag me mentality where everybody in that community is exponentially trying to level up everybody else's floor, right? Whether it's a business you're launching, whether it's a podcast, whatever it is, everybody has the same interest, apes to the moon, right? And people are like, oh, it's too many PFPs, like already. And I agree, there are a ton of PFPs and people that don't know how to do it right, but the ones that do are going to reap massive rewards. And I still haven't found a way to value that, to put numbers like on that. So if you're holding into any of those, like I would just say, don't look at the price.
No, but
get
it's
involved,
tough to,
of course.
it is tough to value it. I mean, you can see what the market has valued it, right? I mean, it's a lot. It is very valuable, says the market. So we got to be happy that when we have when we're part of that, and there's interest. But you mentioned the DeFi, sorry, with NFTs, and I stumbled across a project called Babylon Finance. And it's all about, staking together. Have you seen that? It's like with these gardens.
Yeah.
So then they reward you with their Babel token, but then they also created these profits. So you mint the profit NFT, and then you use that in your garden, and it gives you a little extra reward of their token as you're staking these different pairs. And then you set strategies, and I thought it was kind of a cool idea of first of all, groups of people coming together to invest and make some strategies in crypto finance, but then the added PFP on top was I think a nice little touch. I haven't really followed along if with the flow of that project, but I thought the idea was really cool.
It acts as your CV too, right? Where it's like if the project takes off or you did really well on your garden that you set up, right? I mean, that shows up on your wallet, and down the line, maybe if you look for employment in the space or anything, I mean, you have that as your CV, which speaks volumes more than whatever college you graduated from, right? I mean, it's such a new space. I mean, I don't know. I think like MIT barely started like publishing some of their blockchain courses, what, like 4 years ago? You know, I mean, there's degens that have been in this space in 2010, and they got the bruises and the fucking bows and arrows in their ass to prove it. No classroom's gonna teach you that, and it's moving so fast that you got time for that, bro.
I feel like no one's talked about Coinbase in a while. I mean, what was that? That was like 2-3 million people sitting on Coinbase, on the waiting list for Coinbase so they can get into NFTs. I haven't heard, the space moves so fast. I don't know how many months ago or I don't even know, weeks ago that was, but I feel like it's been almost forgot about, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Like, if they're going to open up their space, they aren't going to remember it. Like, it's been so long, I feel like. Probably only been a couple months, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, it's funny because I was thinking about it because, now you're seeing, I feel like Looks Rare has picked up a bit of momentum in the past week or so. Especially the token is on the marketplace. So they're always innovating and changing things, which is great to see. So they're still working on certain things. But yeah, Coinbase kind of, would just come out and promote a partnership with so-and-so NFT, pump the floor for a day or two, and then it'll be forgotten. Then the next day, another partnership was just named. So yeah, it's weird to see because, I feel like they have the backing and the funding to kind of move things a little quicker than other projects would be able to. So it's definitely weird to see them haven't come out with anything yet. I know, and now OpenSea has come out with, a support for Solana NFTs. I know they're working with Tezos and all that stuff. So you're seeing all these different marketplaces are actually trying and building and scaling out, whereas Coinbase has kind of, teased us a bit and hasn't really done much so far.
I felt like OpenSea threw in the towel a long time ago. Like, they just gave up. Like, they didn't really care what happened, because I feel like maybe they thought Coinbase was going to wipe them out. And since it's taken them so long to launch and do stuff, it feels like they've got a rejuvenated energy and they're ready to compete. They're bringing in Solana, Tezos, doing whatever. I feel like they're actually trying now, whereas it didn't feel like they were before.
I think they've ramped up quite a bit also with the resources.
Yeah, they got a lot of money. Jeez. It's a lot of money.
Yeah,
if you just look at the royalties, oh man. Sorry, Tig, go ahead.
No, and the thing is, like, OpenSea is not a bad marketplace. It just has its fucking things, like, it's always down half the time, And the thing is, like, it works well for what it is and what it's supposed to do. But I think a lot of the issues with the people that use it is very glitchy. It's very slow to update real-time prices, real-time floors, and when you need to access it, sometimes it's not even working correctly. So I feel like there's other tools that you could use to help it. Like, there's nerds and all that stuff that people use to kind of use real-time data. But as far as a marketplace, I feel like it's solid. But yeah, you're right. Like, I feel like now they're kind of seeing that there's other competition where, people are waiting and chomping at the bit to kind of go somewhere else because, right now they really have no other options. So yeah, I feel like now they kind of realize, hey, like, if they really want to be real players in this game, there's other competitions going to be popping up and they really need to get their shit together because one day Coinbase is going to, come out of nowhere and open up the floodgates and then we're really going to see a real competitor come through and see what happens because, like you said, there's so many wallets on Coinbase already. The onboarding is way easier and for people that don't have a MetaMask, have never used, custodial wallets that way. So definitely, I definitely good point you bring up to see what happens once they finally decide to launch.
That's my biggest critique with OpenSea is like the customer experience is just horrid, right? I really do feel like, I mean, that's their biggest critique or weakness, right? Like how many people have sold like blue chips for like 12 DAI, kind of simple stuff to just, put in like a little bit of a bump there. Like, are you sure you want to do this? Floor is such and such. Like little things like that really irk me, because like you said, they have the resources, they have the people, they just haven't given a crap. No community. They're just the first movers. And yeah, I'm guilty. I still sometimes forget to go to Looks Rare versus OpenSea. Anytime I do, I just go to Looks Rare anywhere else. I do hope they are overtaken. Because like you said, certain people, like I was trying to tell certain friends of mine, like how to buy Moonbird. And like you said, it's like, dude, there's going to be a gas war. What's a gas war? It's like, oh shit. It's like, how are you going to do this? good luck.
Yeah.
Probably not the best draft to get into for your first time NFT, but you gotta learn it the hard way sometimes. You gotta pay your tuition in this space. And I feel like you have
Exactly.
to kind of really get a good feeling for the space. Xbox says my mic sucks, so I apologize if I do sound bad for everyone coming through on YouTube. But thank you, Xbox. Thank you, Dekenza, Easy, Sig, all you guys in the chat. They appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out with us on a Friday. We got anything else you guys want to chat about, Savage?
Yeah, I was saying, do you guys list on LooksRare when you go to list or when you go to shop? I'm always on Gem because it can post LooksRare.
I've never posted anything on Gem. I just use it to buy. The only thing sometimes with Gem is the floor's a little higher than the true floor, like on OpenSea or something like that. So I have purchased, like if I sweep something, I have purchased it a little higher than normal. But Gem's usually, my friend told me it's pretty easy to post as well, to put up for sale. I've never sold anything on there. I wouldn't even know how the process works. I think it is pretty cool that it does have the LooksRare rewards. So if you do purchase something from LooksRare, you do get allocated those rewards as well. So that's pretty cool to see.
Yep.
No, I've only used LooksRare and OpenSea and Super Rare, or Rareable, all those. But I think it is time for a little refresh. I do sympathize a little bit. The company I work for, we have a TV app that goes down pretty from now and again, and I understand the server issues and stuff like that, but it is at a scale where they have gotten so much money. There is really no excuse at this point that they can't refresh their pages or refresh the floors. Like, come on, please, guys, get it together.
Well, they can't refresh their own floor, and Gem does it quicker. I think that's crazy. Like, their API hits OpenSea faster than OpenSea hits their own API. That's crazy.
Yeah, their API is the biggest problem. It's just not reliable. It's really slow. It sucks. It goes down. Whereas you said Gem and all these different aggregators are already. First of all, they have their rarities up already on their website, along with the true data, real-time data. So yeah, if they could just get that fixed, man, that'd be like such a big fucking deal. It'd be great.
Would you guys trip if like Bored Ape bought OpenSea? They've been going around buying a lot of different NFT projects. Watch them just go big time.
No.
Watch them go big time. I'll take all of OpenSea.
No, because people are allowed to. Speaking of Bored Apes, let's talk about this. Did you guys KYC for the Yuga thing for the other side?
I'm not in Bored Ape.
No.
Okay. Well, okay. So people are still speculating to what it is, but Yuga had this thing with Animoca where you had to KYC for whatever the hell they're gonna do. No one knows. It could be the land drop. It could be something else. No one knows what it was. But you had to KYC. So a lot of people were kind of debating whether it's worth it KYCing for something that you don't know what the hell you're KYCing for. But you know who's behind it. You have Animoca and you have Yuga Labs, right? So my thinking is, I don't think it's land, because if people are sending land, you don't need a KYC to buy land. I was thinking, what if they create something that's like their own marketplace? Because you will kind of have to KYC for that, because you're buying and selling things, kind of like Nifty Gateway. You have to KYC to sell now in Nifty Gateway, whereas before you didn't have to. So my thinking and my speculation was the reason why they might need you to KYC is because Bored Ape could go bigger, like you said, big brain, and why buy out OpenSea? You can create your own and make it better, and really have it to what you like or what you don't like. That's what my speculation. I don't think it's about the land. I think lands give you a normal typical drop where people could just buy land, kind of like how Sandbox has it and all different things. I feel like KYCing for something is bigger. I feel like to me, I think it's like a marketplace type of thing.
I don't know if I'd KYC to a NFT group. I mean, any of us here could be the founder of Bored Ape, right? They were started off as a regular project that got blown up. And I'm not sending my ID to like Flubber. Like, hey, here's all my information and everything about me. But I'll go on camera and you can see me every day.
Yeah. My thinking is, look, I KYC for Nifty Gateway, and I had to KYC for Blancos one night because I was a DGen. And when they dropped that trailer, Blancos were fucking flying. So I was scooping up Blancos from their marketplace, transfer to OpenSea and selling it for like 6 times the price there. But you had to KYC to transfer them. So I had to like run and do this shit like within 10 minutes. But that's like the late night DJ in me. But, you know, I'm thinking, I'm already KYCing 2 other things. Like, what's the big fucking deal? It doesn't matter. You know, if it's, I feel like whatever it is going to be worth it to try and get into. You know, whether it is the land sale or something else, I feel like knowing who's behind it is going to be worth it either way. But yeah, I can see why people are kind of, you know, hesitant to do it, just not knowing what it's for.
Well, I don't think it's dangerous, but what are they going to do with that information? Like, NFTs aren't going away. You're going to have your healthcare, your mortgage, your marriage license, like everything's going on the blockchain. But I don't know what they're going to do with that information. Like, Facebook has ungodly money. Oh my God, has so much money, but that's because like they've been scraping data on everybody for so long that Facebook could shut down, and they're going to be successful probably another 100 years just because they can sell all of our information to all these different companies. So I'm wondering if that's where the NFT space is going. Like, are they scraping data, and what's it going to be used for in the future?
I think people are just worried because you have to connect one wallet to it. So I created a fresh wallet that I've never interacted with anything. So it's a brand new wallet, new seed, everything. So I've never used it. I feel like people are just worried like they might send your info to the IRS or some shit and get all your transactions, something that way, which is just, you know, it's dumb. But I think that's what people are more worried about. It's just, you know, your personal info is out there already. If you ever lived in Web 2, you ever used Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that shit, all your info is out there, you know. So that's why I'm not worried about it. I'm just more worried about them passing along like my transactional wallet info to different parties that shouldn't have it.
I mean, anyone that's done anything anywhere on the internet is everywhere. I was watching Be Smart on YouTube, and they said your inner ear, like a picture of it, is just as unique as your thumbprint. That's crazy. Someone can take a picture of your ear, and it's so unique to you.
You're
can figure out who you
doxxed
are.
for life.
Bro, for sure. One picture of an ear.
And that's why people wear tinfoil hats and do all kinds of crazy shit, right?
all over the ears.
Yeah, helmet.
We need fun uncle. Fun uncle would love this conversation. You know, fun uncle is into that.
Oh yeah,
and all that stuff.
But like when you had a KYC, Tig, I mean, did they have a legitimate terms of service, like, or is it just like, just send us your passport?
Well, did they check it? Like, if you put the wrong name in, would it kick it back?
So this is what happened. Everyone had issues doing it with their ID. For whatever reason, everyone's ID wasn't working. They had issues with whatever it was. So a lot of people had to use their passport. So of course, I waited till last minute. I was still debating whether I wanted to do it or not. I send in my passport. I did with my passport. It worked, and I send it off. I get an email like 30 minutes later saying, "Hey, we don't accept documents that are expired." So I was like, "What?" So I look, and my passport has been expired for like 3 years. I didn't even know this. So then I had to go back and somehow figure out how to do it with my ID. I figured out how to do it finally, and then I did it, and then it said it worked. But yeah, I mean, in terms of service, there was, but who out here is really reading every line per line that's in the terms of service? You know, we all just click on it and say, yeah, cool, whatever. But yeah, I'm sure there was. I don't remember. I don't recall, honestly, if I'm being honest. But like I said, I'm not worried about it. It's info I haven't given out beforehand, so I'm not really worried.
Talking about giving away information and filling out forms, how many of you guys, by a raise of hand, have done their taxes this year? 1.
Well,
2.
Well, so I'm in a fucked up situation because I'm Danish and American, right? So I reported my taxes in Denmark, super easy. It's just like how much you deposit, how much you take out, what were your gains. And then because I'm an American citizen, I have to also report to the IRS. Dude, what the fuck?
Worldwide income.
Oh my God, you guys make it so difficult.
It's brutal. So
I started using that Zen Ledger thing because I just couldn't. My tax person was like, it's going to cost $5 per transaction to figure out the cost basis. I was like, no way.
Oh my God.
So you said you started using it. Does that mean you've been playing with it for a while? Because I spent 14 hours on there last night. Zen Ledger.
I just started like 2 days ago.
Yep. I spent 14 hours. It was at like 30 grand capital tax. And I was like, no way am I paying that. Deleted it and started over. Well, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours ago. We're going to jump back in that after here, but taxes, it's brutal.
Listen, if you wanna pay less on capital gains, just get married, Savage. That'll knock off a good chunk off for you, bro.
Yeah, it's brutal.
That's my financial advice. My financial advice: you want to pay less taxes, get married.
Is it like a big amount? Like right now, I'm at like 30%. It's crazy.
Remember, it also depends on what state you are, because Florida is a little different, so we pay a little less taxes than like New York and California, all different things. Yeah, I mean, it gave me this option if I was filing jointly, married, or separate, and I was just checking to see what the difference would be. Just to see what it was, and yeah, it definitely it knocked up like a few grand just doing it married.
Wow.
But let me just financial advice: always have money for taxes, guys. Like, don't be dumb. Like, even if you do them wrong, even if you don't pay the whole amount, to pay something, because you don't want to just not pay them. Like, at least make it seem like you made an effort and you tried to get something down the line and paid. But not financial advice, but financial advice: pay your taxes.
Yo, the worst feeling in the world
or move
is
to
when
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's right. Easy's at. Shout out Easy. That dude's been hustling forever.
Oh hell yeah, man! Easy's a smart man.
Yep. Hey.
Yeah, Act 60.
A lot of fun, a lot of sun down there. Taxes. That's such a positive note to like wrap up this NFT Live on. So if you're out there and you haven't done your taxes, probably do them.
You're too late. If you're reading this right now, you're too late.
No, you can do it. You can do it. I sat down yesterday, didn't want to do it at all. I spent like, I don't know, 12, 14 hours doing them. And now I feel like I have to finish it. So I feel like it's I don't get defeated. Like I'm fixing that. We're going to bring that total down so I can afford it.
Did you guys do any?
The hardest thing is the difference when you're doing staking and all this shit is asking for the cost basis. I'm like, what? Like, I'm staking, I'm getting this, my cost basis, I have no idea what it is. There's like all these different transactions. I'm like, oh God, I never want to stake anything again. On mainnet, at least, just on mainnet.
I think what got me was I had one main wallet, and then I transferred a bunch of NFTs to a different wallet. And man, does that get difficult when you're like doing taxes. Because it's like, did you sell this to yourself?
Self-transfer.
Yeah. And then you have to go like find them and match them up. Man.
Yeah,
I'm going to be an expert in Zen Ledger by the end of the day.
Especially if you transfer it and then you sell it on that different wallet, then your cost basis have to be like known what it was. It's a mess, man. I'm glad I'm done. I finished it. I sent it off. Actually, you know what? I actually got to double check one thing before I do send it off. But yeah, if you guys are watching, start now because it's gonna take a minute to get to everything.
Have you guys tried like trashing any NFTs, like burning them or something like that for for writing it off?
I thought about that last night, but have to go on next year's taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta do that a little earlier. But yeah, people do that all the time just to take the lost harvest and all that stuff. But yeah, you just gotta be smart about it, man. Like, I feel like doing it this year is probably gonna be the worst because you're kind of really doing it for the first time. But so I feel like next year you kind of be a little more prepared. I can start doing it earlier because I know what I'm looking for, how to adjust to certain things to be in the right categories and all that crazy shit. And I'm telling you, the apps help a lot because they kind of do everything for you. Right? You guys gotta go in there, adjust certain things that maybe doesn't make sense. It's not picking up certain things. So it's savage.
Tig's lying to you. The software does not make it easy. I did crypto only last year for my taxes, and that was pretty easy. Like, I figured it out. You struggle with it for a while, but you get it. Bro, 14 hours, and then I just deleted it. I was like, this has got to be wrong. There's no way.
Yeah. If you're doing just tokens and coins or just crypto in general, way easier.
Yeah.
When you get NFTs involved, man, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Hey, like a year ago, would you have spent an ETH or two on gas, Tig? Like you did for your newest purchase?
A year ago, I didn't even have 0.15 to spend on gas, dude. Like it's crazy to me to think back because when I think of ETH now, I don't think of USD. I don't see it in numbers, So when I see something like 0.15, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then when I went through and I bought it, I'm like, I'm like, bro, I spent like 1.2, 1.3 on gas. In my head, I'm thinking, I just quick math. I'm like, yeah, that was like, I spent like, it's probably more. I spent like 1.6, I think. So I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, I just threw five grand into the abyss for no fucking reason. And to me, it's insane because if I were to tell it to any of my friends, they'll think we're crazy, that we're literally just throwing money away. But, these projects are just getting more and more expensive, if you want to get into these communities, the barrier to entry is way more expensive than it was a year ago. So it's definitely more difficult now. But to think about it, a year ago, you're gonna tell me I was gonna spend like 2 ETH on a drop just to get like some passes. I wouldn't tell you you're crazy. But yeah, it's just what it is today. The market.
I remember when gas was like 20 gwei, and I was like, that's too expensive. Too much. I'm gonna wait for like 11. We're chilling, and then it hit like 150 or something a couple months ago, and you were like really happy to get it at 100. Now I don't even think about that. That's just like part of doing business. But I wouldn't have spent $20 like a year ago. Like, I'm not wasting money on gas. Oh my god. I think that's how you can tell a lot of the newbies.
And if you go to that website that checks out your wallet, how much you've spent, it's fucking painful. That's whoever made that. Fuck you.
Yeah. Does I should probably know this because I was on Zen Ledger all night. Does gas get written off when you're doing your taxes? I see them in there, but I guess I don't know what they do. Is that a write-off? Anybody?
I'm gonna go ahead and guess no.
Yeah, probably not.
No. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure they'll want you to pay gains on that too.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, for everyone.
Yeah, because you're paying for functionality, but still.
We are not tax accountants.
At all.
Definitely not. Hey, I spent any tax accountant that spends like 15 hours or so on taxes, run. Oh, here we go. Dun, dun, dun.
Run.
Oh, the echo. No good. Ooh.
No.
The audio on this setup is trash, guys. I'm glad it worked.
Yeah. Dude, hey, I feel like we put together a good episode. Thank you for everyone that was watching. Definitely Q was traveling today, so definitely appreciate Q allowing us to stir the ship for a little bit, have some fun. Everyone that tuned in, DeKensis, Digits, XWow, Easy, everyone that came through, definitely appreciate it. If you haven't checked out NFT Live before, we're here every Friday and Tuesday. We have shows every week throughout the week, We have shows on Monday with Music Mondays. We have Wednesdays with the NFT Q show on Wednesdays and Thursdays where he interviews different founders and leaders in the space. Check it out if you haven't. Friday, NFT Live. Saturday, we have Fun Uncle. Oh, no, Saturday we have, Fun Uncle. Or the Sunday. I'm getting confused now.
Sunday is Fun Uncle.
Yeah. Saturday, we have Art Star Now.
Art Star Now. There you go.
Saturday. Sunday, Fun Uncle. So if you haven't checked us out, check it out. One of our shows. I'm sure there's something you're into. And if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. We definitely appreciate it. Help out the show. And like I said again, thank you so much for spending your Friday with us, man. And Savage, definitely appreciate it, man.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. I hope it sounded good and looked okay. I built this set right before this, and there's a nasty echo in my ear, so I'm sure I sounded horrible because I can hear myself. Horrible.
Sounded good, man.
Yeah.
It was good talking to you all.
Yeah.
Likewise. This was a lot of fun.
All right.
Appreciate
Our
you
vibe, our guy. Can't even talk. Here you go.
Our vibe.
Our vibe, our vibe.
Echoes. All right, guys. Later.
Take it easy, fellas. Till next time.